Cael, your 16th season, do you think it's flown by for you? And is this experience, this journey for you, been everything you thought it would be and could be so far?
Yeah, 16th season. Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that many, but yeah, it goes fast. Every year's flies by. Off season flies by. So, and to us, it's just go get it, do our best every day, and you know those days obviously fly by. And here we are. We're about to start another season. So, yeah, everything's been great. Super. Just grateful to be at Penn State and with the people that we work with every day, and the community's been awesome. But yeah, you know, I just got nothing but good memories, and just looking forward to making more.
How much are you looking forward to this season?
How much?
Yeah.
A lot, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, every season's kind of the same for us. We just are excited to see where we are and then just build from there. Right? We have a lot of just great kids, great human beings. That so yeah, we'll see where we're at, and then we'll just keep getting better and be at our best in the big moments.
Looks like your starters are probably pretty much settled at most weights, but can you shed any light on if there's been any wrestle-offs or any leaders at 33, 57, or 97?
Yeah, I mean we've had a round of wrestle-offs, but you know we'll use the preseason and these early matches and tournaments just to kind of make sure and get everything set. So yeah, the next couple months will give us a pretty good idea who our guys are. But we still have. I was just talking to one of our kids. I mean, the nationals are still 5 months out, so we got some time to figure things out and grow and learn and keep making small steps and progress.
How difficult is it that freshmen are coming in more prepared than what they have in the past, that makes it difficult for you guys as coaches to maybe decide that starting lineup and things like that, or the redshirting process?
Yeah, I think I think you're right. I think it has changed. I mean, I think kids are just more prepared to jump in right away, and there's enough examples that they will suit, and so you're pretty much, for the most part, wrestling your best team. I think now every year, and if a kid gets the opportunity and they're ready to go and they earn the spot, then it's up to them. Still, I mean, there's still going to be kids that want a red shirt, but yeah, I mean, kids have access to RTCs at a young age, and just incredible technique and coaching, and they're ready. Yeah, they're ready to go. High level competition. So yeah, I don't know if it makes things more difficult for us, but it's just a change that's just part of college wrestling now.
Cael, Levi Haynes is vacating that 157-pound spot. Is it safe to say that Tyler Casack is going to take over, or what is the plan for 157 pounds?
Well, that's one of those weights that's going to be more competitive for us. Alex Facundo's looking really good at the weight. Obviously Casack as well, and so that's that's going to be one of our more competitive weights that we'll have to figure out who's going to be the starter there. And when that gets determined, yeah, you'll know when I know, probably, kind of a deal.
Cael, with Braden Davis bumping up this year, where does that leave things for Aaron Nagao?
Well, actually, Aaron was injured in the off season, if you guys weren't aware of that. So he's still kind of rehabbing and getting back to full strength. And but yeah, 33 was another. Every weight is competitive now. I mean, we just have a lot of good kids that believe in themselves and are going to compete hard. 33 has a handful of guys, and I think initially Davis has definitely kind of jumped out as that front runner.
When you look at some of the weight, obviously with him going up, Haynes goes up, Sirachi goes up. What went into some of that decision-making process? Was it all just body-related and those guys were ready for a different weight class, or can you walk us through the decisions to settle on the weights those guys did?
Yeah, you know, we let our guys kind of make those decisions, and you know, the first year, 2 years ago when Levi was going to go 57, I saw him the summer before, and I was like, wow, that's going to be a difficult move for him, and then he's just disciplined enough, and he does everything right that he made it work. And then I think the next summer, like, well, there's no way he's going to make 57 again. And then sure enough, he was extremely disciplined and followed the game plan like to a T, and was able to obviously wrestle great and feel great and be healthy. And so yeah, I don't think it. You know, he's got a big frame, and so when he's ready to go up, he's kind of ready to go up, and that's something that, you know, not something that we get too involved in. I mean, we're trying to help each individual and figure out what's in their best interest. So we're obviously going to guide them and help them as much or as little as they want. Carter, I think he's also a guy who just has been at 74. What, he's won 4 national titles at 174, right? But it's getting tougher and tougher for him to, you know, get that weight down there. And I like the idea of him just going and competing and making weight management less of a, you know, a factor in his week. So so yeah, and we've had a lot of success with our guys going up over the years, and it's a, you know, there's a lot of wrestling, and you know, if our kids can feel good enough to focus on improving every day instead of trying to manage their weight, it's just, I think it's a better plan if that's possible. If it isn't possible, then, you know, we make the most of it, and that's what we'll do.
Cael, arguably, Carter's last season there's some comparisons that could be made to your last season, in that there are a lot of expectations. He's going for a goal that's not been attained before, much like you did. Is more of his challenge mental and just maintaining expectations and all of that as it is physical?
Well, I think it can be. I think it's kind of the challenge for everybody, because regardless of your circumstances, whether you're first or second or third string or, you know, redshirting or whatever, I mean, our own imaginations will kind of create expectations, and we add pressure to ourselves. But yeah, I think with a guy like Carter, he's just a competitor, right? And he's confident, and you know, he's not going out there trying to you know, sneak by with wins. So he's always looking to the bigger picture. I mean, his goal is to, you know, obviously have a great year this year, and then get ready for the Olympics and World Championships. So, you know, I think the process of improvement never really ends, and so I don't think you'll see a shift in his mindset of, you know, trying to hold on to something or trying to not lose or whatever, that kind of mentality, which is so common in sports. But yeah, I mean, those are things that we'll do our best to. I mean, it's the same thing for everybody. Same thing with coaches. Same thing for the freshmen. You know, everybody has expectations, and how you deal with them is part of the fun challenge of college sports.
Cael, how has the wrestling room as a whole adjusted with key figures? David Taylor, of course, leaving, big absence there. How's the wrestling room digested that and handled it to this point?
Yeah, our room and the culture and the energy has really never been better. You know, it's been, we have an outstanding group of kids. You know, we hate to see our guys that come through our program leave, but that's just part of life, right? And, you know, in the future we're going to have other superstar guys leave. We've had superstar guys leave prior, right? And you never like to see your guys leave, but, you know, that's kind of what we are trying to help our kids do, is come here, let's help you reach your goals, and then when the time's right, you're going to move into the next phase of your life and go kick some butt there. So, but yeah, everything, you know, it's been a really productive, positive off season for us. You know, we don't get out and talk, and you know, we don't do the hype thing and all that kind of stuff. But you know, the addition of Nick Lee has been really an outstanding hire for us. He's done a really nice job. We were able to hire you know, Clay Stedman as our GM, is what we're calling him now, and he's done an awesome job with all the changes in college athletics. So yeah, we've been blessed to be able to kind of really elevate our program in the last 6 months, and you know, that's just what we're going to keep doing.
What do you expect from Lillidahl?
Lillidahl, he's just going to compete. He's a competitor. He's has a lot of experience. Just a really good person. I mean, we love competing with him. He's you know, he's the guy that loves to train and loves to improve, and has a great mindset. He'll be a really good influence on the team, and you know, his teammates obviously. But yeah, he's you know, he is as described, and as everyone's following him the last few years, I'm sure. He's gonna be a lot of fun.
Can you fill us in with Greg? Obviously, you're supposed to wrestle on Saturday night, and now he's not going to, and things like that. So
Yeah,
can you fill us in
yeah,
with
Greg's
Greg?
fine. I think people were concerned if he was injured or something. I think they just try to get those kids to sign up for that event a long time in advance, and I think he just had some things come up. But yeah, he's good to go. You know, the plan is he's wrestling Sunday, so just had some things on Saturday that I think some family things that he wanted to participate in, and so. But yeah, he's good to go.
Is Lilladal the guy at 125, or is there another open competition there?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, every weight's an open competition. You know, I mean, Kurt McHenry's done a really good job to get healthy, and you know, he's looking really good also. But yeah, that's one of those, you know, a weight class, like every weight class is, you know, we'll use the next month or so to kind of figure out what the plan is there.
It's a process, you know, with the scholarship limit and all, but I think this might be the deepest team you've ever had, you know, that week by week, that place.
We'll find out. You know, I mean, it's always easy to speculate and talk about the way things are, but that's completely different than, you know, how we show up and compete and how things play out during the season. But yeah, we have a strong team. You know, we're happy with where we're at, and you know, we still as coaches believe our best years are ahead of us, and the best years are still ahead for Penn State Wrestling. That's our job. That's what we're excited about. But yeah, we're really excited about the group of student athletes we have in the program right now.
Are you looking ahead to the change in the scholarship allocation limit and stuff? I mean, obviously you are, but can you talk a little bit about what you're thinking about with that in the coming year?
There's a lot of changes, and you know, we kind of find out at the same time everyone else does. You know, you read an article about things changing, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, so we just kind of go with the flow, and you know, I think any changes are probably good for our program and Penn State Wrestling. You know, we're not going to have 30 scholarships, right? I've seen that floated out there. I mean, there might be a few programs that have 30 scholarships, but unfortunately, the reality for most, especially male Olympic sports, is, you know, they're probably going to move backwards in the support that they have, and that stuff. But you know, I think as a sport, we'll figure it out, and we'll keep getting better and keep producing people that are going to go out and do big things in the world, right? But yeah, we just kind of go with the flow, and you know, we're going to take care of our guys, and we're going to compete in all aspects of, you know, in all aspects that we're allowed to compete in, right? So we're not going to take a back seat in any way. I mean, we're going to really work our butts off to make sure our kids have reasonable and awesome opportunities to take advantage of all these changes.
In that regard, how come Clay was the right guy to sort of be in that role as your general manager?
Well, Clay's, if you are familiar with his history, he was a guy who, he was here when we first got here, right, and he just was one of those bigger-than-life guys, you know, very professional. You know, he's very successful outside of, after he left the program. You know, I tell our guys, he was, my first year, you know, our staff's first year here at Penn State, he was our 97-pounder, and he had a really bad neck and back. He actually got hurt in a car accident in high school, and it was tough for him. And then his senior year, the trainers and doctors finally said, "Hey, Clay, it's just not worth it. We're not going to let you wrestle anymore." And that was really hard for Clay. And he was a guy who, he still weighed in every weigh-in, and he had a hard time making weight. He's a big guy, and he would beg me to put him in the lineup. And you know, I think that's a pretty special thing. And I say, Clay, you know, we love your passion, your fire. You know we can't put you out there, because most of the time, if you ask a kid that's not planning on wrestling in the dual meet, hey, you got to make weight just in case, or you know, there's a chance you'll wrestle. There's not a lot of kids that are always right there, ready to go. Where this guy couldn't wrestle, knew he couldn't wrestle, still. Maybe he was trying to get me in trouble, actually, now I think back. But yeah, that's the kind of guy Clay is, but he's just a very personable, just as honest as you can be. He lifts people up. You know, the other thing I tell people about Clay was, I mean, I think the first 10 years after we got here, he was everybody's best man. You go to a wedding of a wrestler, and there's Clay's the best man again. You're like, what's going on with this guy? You know, so he's just that kind of guy, just a big personality, and he brings a lot of positivity. Very smart. You know, he's a hustler. Works really hard. Understands the sport. Obviously, he's an alumni, and he's done an outstanding job for us so far.
At 197, looks like Josh Barr, one of your contenders there. Is this kind of a temporary move for him while Carter does his last year, or is he the kind of kid that's going to grow into that and might not be able to go back down to 84?
Yeah, I actually don't know the answer to that. I've wondered the same thing, because I think his plan was be 84, and he could have gone either weight, but he's a big, strong kid. He works hard. He's really disciplined. I think he's the kind of guy that's disciplined and tough enough that he could go down or go up. But he's not going to be a small 97-pounder. I mean, he's definitely jumped levels, I would say, in the last few months. But yeah, that's a very competitive weight for us as well, right? You have Lucas Cochran in there, who's done a really great job for the program over the years, has a lot of experience. You know, we have the Mirasola brothers too, but they're, you know, Cole is wrestling heavyweight, Connor's 97, but those guys are probably just a shoe-in rush to redshirt, just with the way the program is, and wouldn't make sense to wrestle those guys. But yeah, Josh Barr's done an awesome job. He's very committed, very dedicated, obviously very skilled and technical and tough wrestler.
Is the idea of maybe those guys that are wrestling Saturday won't be in the lineup maybe Sunday, just to kind of not really grind them up so far?
Yeah, it looks like the majority of them will not be wrestling Sunday. That will be in the All-Star match. I mean, I think there's a couple of them that are considering it, but I think their focus right now is the All-Star match, and then if something changes, you know, obviously they're on weight, but I mean, they're wrestling some of the best guys in the country, so, you know, we want them to focus on that match. I mean, it doesn't count on your record, whatever, but I mean, if you're a competitor, every match obviously counts, and you want to go wrestle well and kind of set the tone and get things going. But yeah, I mean, we're going to we have a lot of really tough and able-bodied kids that are ready to jump in there if the opportunities presents itself.
You're interested to see how your 5 guys compete this Saturday, you know, against the good competition, and also, you know, are you pleased with the All-Star format, the fact that you had it back for a second year, just the way?
Yeah, it's easier for us if we have it here, then we don't have to travel. You know, a couple years ago, I think it was in Texas, whatever, but it's nice for us to have it here. It gives our fans another opportunity to wrestle and be here at Rec Hall. And yeah, I don't get too caught up and worried about the results. I mean, sometimes you know, it's just we're going to keep getting better whether we wrestle great or not, right? And so of course we always want to wrestle great, and that's the plan, and we're prepared to wrestle great. But at the same time, you know, each match is going to come and go really fast, and then we're going to be on to the next one. So you know, we want to keep the long-term mindset in place and just be prepared because you know we're going to be competing for the national title in March, so that's ultimately what we're preparing for. Yeah.
Would you say? Go ahead.
How has Shane come back from surgery? Has he looked good in the ring?
Yeah, he's been going. He's wrestling on Saturday in the All-Star match, and he's Shane. He's just you know, he applies a lot of pressure, and moving forward, he's going to wrestle tough. He just learns and continues to improve in all areas. Hasn't been on the mat in a long time, but he's looking really good. We're excited to get him back in the lineup.
How much does Mitchell take what he's learned internationally and has evolved into, you know, with you guys now in this success that he's had most recently?
Yeah, I think Mitch is, he loves to compete. He's very consistent. I mean, you see him in practice, he's bringing the same fire and energy. And so, yeah, anytime you wrestle and you push yourself and challenge yourself, I mean, he did really well in the Olympic team trials here in, April, whenever it was, and then just took third in the U20 World Championships. I think he's just, with his mindset and his competitiveness, he's going to keep getting better. So yeah, we're excited. I mean, I know he's a lot of fun to watch, and people are probably looking forward to seeing him do his thing.
When it comes to the makeup of your non-conference schedule, why was Wyoming a team you targeted to bring here to Rec Hall, and then why did you guys want to go to the Collegiate Wrestling Duels down in Nashville?
You just try to switch things up, right? You try to wrestle different opponents, and you also kind of wrestle who you can get to come in and wrestle you too, you know. So it's just kind of a combination of things. And but yeah, we're excited to wrestle Wyoming. They have, you know, Coach Branch has done a great job out there. They have some really good guys, and give us a chance to get our guys out west again next year, which is something that we've tried to do in the past. The collegiate duels is yeah, we didn't go to that last year, I think, because of the Olympic trials, and there was a qualifier right before or whatever. But yeah, it's the format is great for us. We're going to get 3 really good matches, I think, and right before the Christmas break, which seems to be a pretty good plan for us. So yeah, that's and you know, you just got to get matches, and if you can wrestle people they aren't going to wrestle 3 or 4 times that year, that's more fun.
So you will do home and home with Wyoming?
I think so. I should know more about our program, but
That's the case.
yeah, there's some things I focus on and some things I don't worry too much about. But I think we are going out to Wyoming next year. Yeah.
Cael, you're doing 2 Jordan Center dual meets this year.
Yeah.
Can you talk about why?
They're just big duels, and gives, you know, more fans a chance to go compete. I think it's great practice for our student athletes to wrestle in the, you know, up on a stage, and you know, get that feel for what it's going to be like at the national tournament. So I think it's a win-win. You know, it's you know, those matches bring in obviously more revenue because there's more fans, and it's a great environment for us. I mean, we love Rec Hall. It's just a little small, right, and it's tough to get in here. So you know, if you're wrestling those big duels, they'll, just the same kind of philosophy that we've had, you know, for years over there.
How have you seen Mitchell Messenbrink improve? What's impressed you the most about him in terms of his development now with another year in the program?
Yeah, I think he is. I think a lot of focus for him for folk style has just been mat wrestling, right? Because if you recall from last year, he's a buzzsaw on his feet, so people want to slow him down and kind of take some time off the clock, and so he's got to be able to get away from people and kind of just be himself. So he's put a lot of effort and time into the mat wrestling stuff, and but he's I mean, he's a unique character, right? I mean, he just keeps working, has a very positive mindset and mentality, and we're really grateful to be at Penn State, which, you know, is always makes our jobs more fun. But yeah, he's been a good one for us.
How have you seen him handle that finals match now that it's all settled in?
Yeah, I think he's fine. You know, you know, any loss is tough, especially when you're as competitive as he is. But you know, win or lose, we're looking forward to the next event, right? And the next season, the next national tournament. So you know, we don't get too caught up in any match. I mean, you know, tough losses are the ones that usually you know, not that a guy like Mitchell needs any motivation, but sometimes those tough losses are, you know, that end up being huge blessings for us. And very rarely do they not, you know, if you approach it with the right attitude. So yeah, it hasn't even been really, I don't think, a second thought. I mean, we haven't thought a lot about it. I mean, it was tough, and you know, but we're moving on, and he rebounded right away and went and made the national team at the Olympic trials, and you know, has won a world medal since then. So yeah, everything works out for our good if you just keep a good positive attitude.
You guys
Got time for 2 more?
You guys obviously are. You guys don't focus your energy on things you shouldn't focus it on, things like that. So, how is it that, you know, at the tail end of this year that nationals are going to be in Philadelphia, and you know, they were in Pittsburgh, you know, 5 years ago now. So, how do you kind of not get too far ahead, but still know that that's there?
Yeah, you know, I think that's cool that it's in Philly, but again, like, we don't really think about that stuff, you know, because it's kind of like the saying, like, we don't care where the ballroom is, we just like to dance, kind of a thing. So to us, it's all the same thing, you know. But when you're looking back, yeah, it's special to be in Philly, and to have won the nationals in Philly was awesome. You know, to have won the nationals in Pittsburgh was awesome, and you know, we hope we can get as many of our fans there, and alumni and supporters as possible. But we've also seen that the NCAA tournaments on the East Coast are like the most difficult ticket to get, which is I think that's a good sign for our sport, and it's kind of challenged maybe some of what we thought or what people thought prior to this this time. So, but yeah, being in Philly, that's great. But yeah, wherever the tournament is, it's kind of the same to us.
One more.
I guess we'll get to talk to him in a minute, but for Bo, what have you seen from his off season heading into this year?
Well, Bo's one of those consistency guys, right? He's just the same person all the time, and those are the guys that get better, and those are the guys that are the easiest to coach and support. But yeah, I think he's will continue to jump levels, and he has jumped levels. And the big thing is just same with all of our guys is just wrestling with enthusiasm, right, and gratitude, and let's just go score some points and make our opponents never want to wrestle us again.
All right, great. All right,
Cool.
thank you, Cael.
Thank you.
Good, we done? All right.
For either or both of you, this is going to be your last season, I think, right? No
Yeah.
more eligibility after this year. How does that change the approach, or how does that change just the mental outlook towards knowing that everything you do this year is going to be the last time?
For me personally, it doesn't really change anything because kind of how I live my life during the season is how I live it out of season. So it's just like another day. The only thing